Hello, go horrors and fellow deadites. I'm Brendan.
I'm Sam.
And welcome to our Life in Horror.
And we have a first... was this your first time watch?
Probably second.
Okay, this was my first time watching this movie.
Oh, really?
We're going to be doing Coraline.
Coraline.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll bring up our friend David here.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How's it going with you?
Not bad.
Good.
How
Cool.
many times have you seen this movie?
This will probably be, conservatively, I'm going to say 6th or 7th time.
Okay. Yeah.
Our buddy Bo, Critic After Dark, said that he loves this movie, and he said he's seen it up to what? Upward of 50 times?
Yeah, he said this would be in his top 10 movies of all time.
Yep.
So we'll see if he tunes in tonight.
Yeah, I'm assuming he will be on here because he was like, I can't believe I'm not on this episode.
We borrowed his movie, actually.
Yeah, we borrowed his 4K copy of it to watch it.
Yeah.
And wow.
Yeah. So do you want to tell everyone where they can find you before we start?
Oh, yeah, I'm on Twitter now, begrudgingly referred to as X, at Sparkly Goodness, or one word, you know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And why did you pick Coraline?
Well, two reasons. Like, one, it is one of my absolute favorites. August just gone. It was like the 15th anniversary of its release, so
Okay.
I'd been thinking about it anyway. So
Okay, cool. I did not know that. You are not chiming into this episode, Mr. Bruce. Sorry, he just barked. You're not a part of this party. Okay, so I'm just gonna say hello to Ryan Swayze. Thank you for joining us as always.
I can't believe this movie is 15 years old.
I know.
I remember when it came out, sorta.
I can't believe I hadn't seen it until the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too, actually.
Do you want to get into the facts?
Yeah.
The cast and stuff?
Okay, guys. So we are
Hey,
watching
Corey.
Coraline. Hi, Corey. This movie was released in 2009. The synopsis is wandering her rambling old house in a boring new town, an 11-year-old Coraline discovers a hidden door to a strangely idolized version of her life. In order to stay in the fantasy, she must make a frightening sacrifice. Let's see. It stars Dakota Fanning as Coraline.
That's pretty cool.
Tara Hatcher as her mother. John Hodgman as her father. And then we got Keith David as the cat. Woo! Shout out Keith David. Robert Bailey Jr. as Wyborn. So this is directed by Henry Selick. Henry Selick also directed James and the Giant Peach and A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, cool.
And quite a few other claymations. It seems to be his style.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought this was Tim Burton. I don't know why. I thought it was Tim Burton this whole time.
I thought it was too before we started it, but
yeah.
When the trailer initially came out and it said from Henry Selick, director of Nightmare Before Christmas, I was like, I'm sure that was Tim Burton. It's called Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas. It's got to be Tim Burton's, and yeah. So I had the same thought.
I know it says Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas, yet he didn't direct the fucking movie. It's kind of like when they throw like when they threw George A. Romero's name on the '90s and the Return to the Night of the Living Dead. It's like he didn't direct the movie, but for some reason his name is still on the title.
Mm-hmm.
Or like Stephen King is always it's Stephen King's The Shining or Stephen King's Salem's Lot. I don't know. I don't get it. It fucked me up because I always thought Tim Burton did A Nightmare Before Christmas, and I'm bewildered that it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Did he do Corpse Bride then?
I think so.
Well, I also thought he did A Nightmare Before Christmas, but I was wrong there.
I haven't seen Corpse Bride in a long time.
Yeah, same. I don't even think I made it through.
No, I've seen it a couple times, but it's been a minute. All right, before we get into this, I have to pull this comment up. Ryan says, by the way, Sam, I watched the Friday remake yesterday for the first time and fucking loved it. I'm so happy for you.
Nice.
And it was stupendous.
It's so good.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of time yesterday to watch any Friday the 13th movies, but I managed to get in the first 20 minutes of the remake just to, while I was in between tasks of my day.
Yeah, the best 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I went to the movies, so I didn't get to
Oh,
watch
yeah.
any Friday the 13th movies yesterday either.
Yeah, he went to see Speak No Evil.
Yep.
Without going into too much depth, good or not good?
I'm gonna say it's a mix.
Fair.
Yeah. We're gonna, me and you are gonna talk about it in the
After
after
hours show.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I still got to do my review on it, so I want to try to get some thoughts out about what I've been feeling because I've been thinking about it most of the day, and I was gonna do my review earlier, and then I got lost in the video games on my phone. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about that later then. All right. Spoiler-free thoughts. What do you think of this movie?
Yeah, I love it a lot. And it's like the source material, the book it's based on, a lot scarier than you'd expect for something that's marketed as being for kids. Yeah, it's just for the age range that it's based at, and the way it was advertised with all the colors and stuff. And I remember the trailer being pretty like kid centric, and then you watch it and you're like, oh, this is just horrifying. So yeah, I'd say it's more of a horror film than a kids film for sure, but yeah.
Okay.
I might break to the opposite side. I think this would probably be a very good first introductory to horror film for kids, but I think like James and the Giant Peach is scarier, and I also think A Nightmare Before Christmas would also be scarier. I think the imagery within those couple I think James and the Giant Peach, because I think the animations haven't quite hit perfection for that, so everything looks so extra unnatural. But I found that movie way terrible. Like I don't really remember watching this when it came out, but I'm not going to say it's a bad movie either. I really enjoyed it, and I think it is a stunning movie to watch on 4K.
Mm.
And I did enjoy my watch. I did. I can't wait to watch other people's deep dives into this because I can see a lot of hidden themes and stuff like that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's a good movie.
For me, I liked it. I've come to the realization though, I think when it comes to movies that are more geared towards kids, I like them more when it's nostalgic for me. And because this one wasn't nostalgic for me, I don't know how to explain it.
I also had that same feeling.
Yeah.
So I understand what you mean.
Like I thought it, like I liked. Okay, the first half of this movie, I wasn't really digging it, but then when things took a turn, and I was like, oh heck. I even called out what was going to happen, and then it ended up happening. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about that later in the spoilers, but but yeah, I didn't mind it. It was a spooky watch, but I just don't know if this is going to be something I revisit a lot because for me, I would probably put on Halloween Town, or I might try Corpse Bride again because that one would be nostalgic, or
Yeah, for like animation films myself, this is one that I didn't grow up with either, so it doesn't hold that kind of nostalgia. Like it's not A Nightmare Before Christmas for me, or it's not a James and the Giant Peach, or even like some DC movies. Like it's not Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which I almost bought today on 4K. But like I probably shouldn't do that. I really wanted to though. But some animated things that you grow up as a kid and you can still rewatch them as an adult and still have that same fulfillment and enjoyment from them. And unfortunately, this one did not quite hit it for me.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll get into spoilers then, everyone. Before we do that, just gonna say hey to Peyton. Thanks for joining us. Friday the 13th remake I rewatched last night. I still love it so much. I was just saying to you that the next Friday the 13th we should do a live on the original, but I'm kind of
You always want to do the remake.
I want to do the
We
remake.
should work through the series.
I want to do the remake so bad. Okay. So describe this movie in 3 words.
See, because the 3 words I was going to pick was not for kids.
You can still pick that.
Yeah,
We can
that
have different
dates.
opinions.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
Okay, I'll stick with that.
Yeah, that's fine. We can totally debate here.
Yeah. I'm gonna say beautiful, nightmarish, and childish.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't write notes.
Yeah, he didn't write anything.
I wrote one bit of storyline that I like, one little bit of story, and then that was literally it. I don't know why. I was just enthralled with the colors.
Yeah. I wrote cute. And then my next 2 words totally contradict themselves, but I'll explain. Colorful, because it's colorful. And then I put dark because the themes are dark.
Okay.
So colorful and dark, I know, are kind of odd to put together, but it's colorful and dark.
Yeah, no, I like it.
Who's your favorite character?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got to be. Well, actually, no, it's not Coraline. Actually, because she's a dick at the beginning of the film. It's probably the cat.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, so it's the cat for me, definitely.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Yeah, I got other Wyborn.
Oh, the one that can't talk?
Yeah, he's so sad and he just wants to help, and
Yeah,
he's so
sweet.
yeah, and he's just a little sweetheart, and he can't speak, and he just wants to try to help it, like all he can, because he knows what's wrong with this world, even knowing he was
Yeah.
created by the other mom, and he's still trying to help Coraline get the fuck out of there,
Yeah.
and he ends up dying.
I know.
It's sad.
Before I say my favorite character, I have a question for the chat. If you have kids, or in the future are going to have kids, or hypothetical kids, would you show them this movie? That's my question.
Okay.
I should type that in the chat, but my keyboard's too far away. That way future people can see it. But my favorite character it was a toss-up between those 2 titty ladies. I'm gonna call them because they were hilarious. But I sort of like the evil mom. The evil mom, she dresses in like a nice dress, and she's got the dark hair with the black buttons, and she just kind of gave me like Morticia vibes a little bit.
Like when she's evil?
Yeah.
Like fully transformed evil and looking.
Both.
Okay.
I wrote her down before she like transformed into the tall, lanky thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I like both versions. I just like her in general, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Going for the villain.
I know that doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
Who's your least favorite character?
Oh, now I'm going to feel like a dick for saying this, but probably real world YB.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That's fair.
Oh, okay, cool. Good.
Yeah, I totally think that's fair.
Okay.
What's yours?
My least favorite character, I'm gonna go with the Russian guy. Is he Russian? Dutch?
I think I know who you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mr. Bobinski. I think he's Russian.
Yeah, Mr. Bobinski. He just doesn't do it for me. Didn't think he was funny. Didn't laugh at any of his things. Even though I do think he was kind of there for some kind of comedic effect.
It just didn't do it for you?
Just didn't do it.
Okay.
Nothing. Got nothing. I like the 2 old ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them a lot more than Bobinski.
Yeah. They have like crazy aunt vibes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I have a bit of a hot take, but my least favorite character was Coraline. I thought she was a little bit of an annoying brat, and
So did her parents.
but like, even like, I get it, like she's being a little bit like ignored by her parents, but they're clearly struggling and they're trying to like make I don't know, like even when the mom's offering her lunch, she's like, I don't want that. And like, I know she's just being a kid, but maybe this was why I'm not having kids, but I don't want to be talked back to. But yeah, I don't know. She was just a little bratty for me. And I'm like, I liked all the other side characters better.
Oh wow. Okay.
But that's just me.
That's fair at the beginning, particularly. And this is like skipping ahead to like memorable lines. It's my least favorite line. Is where she calls YB within seconds of meeting him, YB born. And I was like, whoa, okay. You've known this person for a minute. And yeah, so
yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, exactly. She's just a little snooty for me.
Okay.
I probably wouldn't be her friend. I don't want to play on the playground with her. I'm going to go to the comments here quick. This makes a good double feature with Paranorman. I've never even heard of that.
I want to see that one.
Yeah.
After watching this, I'm very curious. I've never seen it either.
Okay.
It's very good. It's the same production company, Leica. Any good or the best stop motion films from the past 15 years or so, it's probably been Leica. So yeah, definitely a good one.
Hello, I've never seen Coraline, so I have no clue what you're talking about, but I'm here to say hi to friends. Hello, Bitter Wolf.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so we said our least favorite, right?
Yep.
Best acting, I guess, would be like best voice performance.
Yeah.
Who did the best for character, I guess?
Yep.
Okay. Who do you think had the best performance?
I should have written his name down. Was it Keith David? Was that, or was who did the cat? Was that?
Yep.
Yeah, him, because I love his voice, and it really brings out like the personality of the cat. I think it gave me kind of like vibes of like Salem from the like original Sabrina like TV show, like the character that just knows what's going on more than anybody else. And I thought that worked. Yeah.
I like that comparison. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the old Sabrina in so long. I would love to like sit down and rewatch some episodes.
Let's see if it holds up.
Yeah, I don't even know where that would be streaming, but I'm gonna try and find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
My favorite performance? I'm gonna go with whoever did the two ladies, the titty ladies. I'm gonna call them for the rest of the episode.
Oh yeah, they're like a British institution. They're French and Saunders, who were like a comedy double act from England, who were like big in the 90s, I think. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I thought their performance was fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like I'm assuming the mom and the other mom are voiced by the same person, I would assume.
Probably like good mom and evil mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that performance the best.
That's a good one too, yeah.
Yeah, because you get kind of like you get a triple performance. You get mom that's kind of like lost her patience, she's a little down, and then you go to the other mom and she's all happy and loving, and then you get the evil lady at the end.
That's true. I'm actually gonna change my answer to that too.
Okay. I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion.
No, but it's just more what's the word?
She gets more of a variety.
Variety, sure.
Variety of characters. She has
more range.
Range. Yes.
Couldn't think of the word. Yeah. Bitter Wolf says, "Oh yeah, Keith David has the best voice."
He does. You recognize his voice as soon as it comes on.
Jennifer Saunders is hilarious. I need to watch this movie. She was also in Muppet Treasure Island in a hilarious cameo. Muppet Treasure Island.
That's a throwback.
Yeah. I don't remember her in that. The only human I remember really is Tim Curry. I have not watched that film in so long.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't think I have either, but I know exactly what the VHS tape looks like.
What do you think of the score and soundtrack?
For most of it, it's one of those things where even though I wrote the questions down, I knew this would come up, and it's one of the things where I didn't notice it particularly for most of the film, but the opening where you see the doll getting made, I think the music in the background for that was really good because it just like meshed so well with like the imagery. Like it was kind of like, you know, music where you was like, okay, everything's fine, but then also there was like the everything is deeply sinister, be afraid sort of vibe to it. So yeah, I liked what I remember of it. So
Yeah, I don't really remember the score all that too much. It doesn't really stick out to me. I know like there's the set pieces with the old ladies and then the mousecapades, and it's very like fantasy and then fantasy nightmare kind of themed. I'm gonna say it's a good score. I don't think it was particularly the standout of the movie, but it fit the movie well.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I wasn't really paying attention to it, but fantasy nightmarish sounds like a good example of it or description of it. And speaking of dogs, our dog Bruce freaking loved this movie.
He did.
You should have seen him watching the colors and the things move, and
Yeah, he's never been so invested in a movie.
I thought he was gonna freak out with all the little black dogs, but he didn't.
Yeah, I'm debating on buying it just for Bruce.
him.
Yeah, just to keep him occupied.
Cinematography.
I don't. Oh yeah, I'm always confused about how to describe cinematography when it's animation, but I
Colorful.
yeah, there's nothing really that stuck out to me one way or the other, particularly. Although actually, have we gone into spoilers yet?
Yeah, we're in spoilers.
I think this class is a cinematography when the floor turns into a spider web right near the end and it drops. That bit was just well done in just terms of how it looked. Also, when you think about it being claymation, that just blows my mind that somewhere in the world exists. So yeah, but that's the bit that stuck out to me as like cinematography wise, but nothing. And the set pieces with like the rats circus thing, but yeah, good cinematography, but yeah.
I know. I feel like this category is kind of mixed in with the special effects category at this point.
Yeah, I can kind of see that too.
Because it's not like a camera with shots, I guess. Well,
kind of.
How do they do claymation? How is that? I've never looked into that.
So what they do is they'll build their little claymation set, and then they'll take a photo of it and how they want it to look, and then they'll move it a tiny bit, take another photo
for the whole movie.
For the whole fucking movie. And
then, kill me! I would never
put it together. It's an extremely long process.
That's wild.
The other films, Coraline, I don't think does it. I should have watched the end of the credits to check, but I think it's from the Box Trolls onwards in Leica's films. At the end of the film, they will do a scene where it's just the characters talking, but you will see like a wide shot of the photo, so you can see the animators moving them, and it's astonishing because it's passing at the like animation time sort of thing. You can just see these people in the background just going like whizzing about, and it's just you're like, oh my god! And it's something like I can't remember what film it was, but they talked about it was someone waving, and it was something like as simple as that took like 2 hours. It was like it's like so like labor intensive to do.
That's crazy. I feel like that would take like a million years.
Yeah, sometimes.
Wow.
And just goes to show, like, think about this movie and how many moving parts there are.
Yeah.
Because you have scenes where almost the entire scene changes in just a few seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine how long it took to do all those dogs wagging their tails in the theater?
Yeah. I'm thinking more of the flower scene when you go to the other world and the flower garden turns out to be Coraline's face, and all the flowers kind of turn all together.
Yeah.
It's wild. This movie is incredibly beautiful to look at, to watch. I actually think, because Bo has always tried to convince me to get a 4K TV and stuff like that before I actually decided to get one. And he was talking about how if there was a movie to show somebody to watch on 4K, it would be this. Not this movie, but like another movie example. But I think this would be like the perfect movie to show somebody in 4K, because it is so colorful and the colors are so rich on a 4K. I was just watching the trailer before we hopped on here, and it does not look that colorful on my phone. It honestly doesn't. So it is incredibly astonishing how well the disc brings this whole movie to life in such a unique way. I also really like the tunnel. Every time she climbs through the tunnel, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Sometimes it's scary with everything rotting inside the tunnel, and you see toys of other children laying around in there. Yeah, I think it's an incredibly well done, great looking movie. And it feels 3D. Do you know if this movie was released in 3D?
Yes, it was. It was. I think it was Real D 3D, which was back, and because it was 2009, that was the era where everything was like pointy, which kind of came across at the beginning, like when I was watching it, and the needle like poked out, then like did that business. I was like, oh yeah, this was like pointy 3D era, but yes.
Yeah, I got it with the hands for the piano when they like jump over his arms and come out like that. I'm like, this was supposed to be 3D for sure.
Hello, Jean. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Jean.
Okay, we will move on to favorite costumes and outfits.
I mean, I like Coraline's look. The raincoat and stuff. I do like that outfit in general. Can't really say why. I just think it's a good look for a rainy day. But I really like the I think it's the other mother where Coraline sees her for the first time, and she's just wearing, because she's wearing like casual mom clothes, but the clothes, like the clothes. God, the design in this is great, but it's like the clothes that the mom was wearing was like a turtleneck and stuff, but in Real Boring World, they were just kind of like, just like almost like there for functionality, so they didn't look good. They were just like, these are clothes I'm wearing because I need to wear clothes. But then you go to the other world and like they're like a really like almost like high fashion chic turtleneck and stuff. It's like everything looks, it's the real world but better, and I liked the way they showed that with the other mother having the same clothes but just looking nicer. So yeah, that'd be
yeah, I liked Evil Mom's outfit too. I also really liked I'm gonna keep going back to those ladies, the big titty ladies. The mermaid outfit, and then the one is wearing like a bikini and her tatas are all out and she's jumping around, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? It was awesome. And then at one point when they're like telling her fortune or whatever, and she puts on that fortune teller's hat and it's got like the third eye on it. I love that. Yeah, I just love those ladies.
One's named Miriam. I can't remember what the other name.
Miriam, yeah. I didn't catch the other one.
I can't remember either. I was just looking at it too. I really like Wyborn's outfit. I wasn't sure because I was looking at the cover for the movie, and there's like this skeleton dude, and he's got like these 3 eyes, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I don't remember this at all in this movie, but it's him and his night vision glasses or microscope lenses or whatever that go in and out, and he's got like this skeleton sweater on and his gloves are like bones. I really like his look. And I also like Dad compared to other Dad, because Dad in the real world is wearing like this beat up robe. Yeah, robe.
Mhm.
And then he's got like his little flip flops on, and then Otherworld Dad is wearing like this high class fucking deep red silk robe.
Yeah, they're bougie.
Yeah. But I also like how Dad transforms over the whole thing, because he's not Mother. He is just a creation of Mother, so she can manipulate him any way she wants.
Hey, he becomes like a pumpkin at one point.
Yeah, he becomes a pumpkin, and I think every time you kind of not disagree with her, but reveal something to Coraline, you kind of get mistreated by other mom. Like, until by the end of that sequence, his jaw is just like super elongated, and it stays that way for the rest of the movie. So yeah, I also like how beat up the parents look, because I think like real world parents, because I just think that that's honestly how real parents would feel. They're exhausted. They're working from home, and then they have to deal with an 11-year-old child who is going to be constantly fucking bored. Like, buy a TV, people. Yeah, so I just like that they look like real people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Memorable lines.
Ooh, I once again going back to Keith David's The Cat. The bit where he says, "You probably think this world is a dream come true, but you're wrong." I love that line, and it's his voice when he delivers it. It's just like, oh, that is such a menacing phrase delivered in such a beautiful voice.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I don't have any.
You didn't write any? Okay.
I didn't write anything down.
That's okay. I wrote down one. And I love it. I'm already laughing before I say it. She's practically naked. Again with the big titty ladies.
Yes, there's another line from Keith David too, is something about calling him a wuss puss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a good chuckle out of that too.
Yeah. Did you have any more?
No, that was it. That was the main one I wrote down.
Yeah. Lines disliked. I didn't write anything down for this one.
The only one I disliked was the one I jumped ahead at saying about at the beginning, where she calls YB born. I was just like, all right, fucking hell. But, you know.
And you don't have any, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I didn't think that there was any dialogue particularly wasted, and I think all the dialogue helped bring the characters and their motivations to life.
Okay. This next category, I didn't think we would be able to discuss, but we sort of can. Favorite kill. Did anyone write anything down for that?
It was one of the hardest ones to think about, and I'm going to be arguing against myself now by saying, because it's a film, like a kid's film, so there's not anything particularly that is like that leapt out as a kill, but it was I feel like I'm going to be stealing what Brendan might be saying, but the slow, horrific degradation of the dad, that is horrifying. Not so much when he turns into the pumpkin, although that is terrifying, but the first time she sees him and he turns around and he says about, I think he says something about why, he goes, oh, he frowned, and he's like, jaws just drooping at either side, and it's just like, it's just, that's like the bit where I was like, oh, yeah, no, she does this to him for over the course of the next 20 minutes. So it's probably that one is the one that sticks with me as the most horrific.
Okay. That's a good one. This one, the one that I'm picking, you don't actually see it's not like a kill you see. It's kind of the aftermath, I guess. But I'm going to go with the 3 ghosts. I thought that was kind of a cool concept, how they need their eyes back for their souls to be free. I thought that was pretty dark. It's not like that's a kill we see or anything, or like we don't, but
yeah,
it's just, yeah, it's all I could think of. But the dad actually gets killed. The dad gets sucked down.
Yeah, when he's riding
the bridge.
Yeah.
I don't think there is any other.
There's one other one, but it's also off screen and you don't see it, and that's going to be my least favorite kill. So
okay, we'll move on then.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite kill. I think they're all pretty like tragic, to be honest. There's nothing that's super fun about any of these deaths, really.
Okay.
Some of the mice and rats, I guess.
Yeah.
Their kills were pretty decent.
What's your least favorite then?
YB.
Oh,
Other side YB. You don't get to see anything else, but he helped her get out. And then when she comes back, it's just his clothes hanging there on a flagpole as a taunt. I just thought that was sad.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a least favorite, David?
Well, I'm struggling to think of any others, but not really. Everything. No, I had a favorite one. There was nothing that leapt out as least favorite.
Okay.
To be honest, sorry.
That's okay.
No, it's all right.
So the next category we've kind of discussed, it's gore factor and special effects. There's no gore factor in this movie, but special effects we've kind of touched on. Do you want to add anything or?
No, I think I've said. Through the process of answering the other questions, I've accidentally said everything.
No, that's okay. It happens.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that there's maybe some decent body horror in this with the transformation of like the evil mom. You get to see her slowly like she starts out as the mom, and then she starts to have like an elongated neck and elongated nails and stuff like that. But then later on you see like she has like at some point you see her with 4 legs, and she's starting to see her bone structure underneath, and she just kind of develops into getting more and more horrifying throughout the whole thing, and then you kind of figure out that she's robotic underneath as well. So I think that's pretty decent. And then you got Wyborn, whose face is like the other side Wyborn, whose face is sewed shut.
Yeah.
And she kind of picks it through.
Yeah.
I'll go there. Like the claymation is so good in this.
Yeah.
It's so great. Like it's rivals some of the best of the best. It might be the best claymation I've ever seen. I haven't seen A Nightmare Before Christmas in a long time, so I'm very excited to revisit that this year.
Okay. Storyline and pacing.
I thought the pacing was pretty good. It's and I think it works well with the visuals as well, because I think she goes to the other world 3 times before everything goes like fully batshit, and it's like it being in the real world and going to the other world and then coming back to the real world. I think that's just good because it really hammers that like juxtaposition of like, even though she knows like after the first time she's visited that, hey, you're going to need to sew buttons onto your eyes, it's still showing the back and forth between the two does kind of show why someone might consider having buttons sewn onto their eyes, because everything is like really wonderful over there and then like really grotty back home. So yeah, and it doesn't seem overlong either. I think it gets to where it like it gets to the story part that you'd be interested in like quite quick. So yeah,
I think it's a very good story. The pacing might be a little off here and there, but it's nothing too much to throw me out of the movie. But I think it's a great kind of like a careful what you wish for, because the grass isn't always greener, or this could be very much like a grim who are those brothers? The Grimm's brothers. You know, they make the fairy tales, but they're all super dark.
Yep, that's them. Yeah. The Brothers Grimm. Yeah,
Brothers Grimm. That's it. Yeah, it feels like one of their stories is where life may be so bad over here, but like you could get tricked by a witch or whatever this demon creature is, and she's gonna eat you. You might think it's a perfect life here, but at the end of the day, she is tricking you here to feed on you. And I don't think that's all Coraline's fault either, because I do think that there is a disconnect between her parents and Coraline. I almost would have liked to have seen a time jump as well, from where she gets stuck in the other world, And then when she comes back and, the groceries are rotted away, but her parents are actually now trapped in the snow globe. But I don't know. I would have liked to have seen the parents maybe freak out a little bit before they get kidnapped and be like, oh, where's a daughter? What have we done? What is happening?
Yeah.
And then they get kidnapped.
Mm-hmm. I also like how the evil mother, I'll call her, like preys on children that are unhappy. Like she spies on them through like the doll's button eyes, and it's almost like, I don't know, cults will go to the lonely and vulnerable and pull them in, right? And she does kind of the same thing. But yeah, the storyline was really cool. Like I thought it was super dark and twisted, especially for, we're gonna call this a children's movie. But it's super dark. Even the part that I guessed was when she's at the dinner table, and then what did she say? Something about
I have to make a sacrifice.
You have to make a sacrifice. And I said out loud as a joke, I was like, she's gonna take her eyes, and then she hands her the buttons. I'm like, no fucking way is this movie going there.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, that got dark.
And that's what I was like. That's when I started enjoying the movie, because before that I was kind of like, okay, where's this going? Like do like whatever. And then once that happened, I started enjoying it more. I thought it was slightly long for my liking, but that's just me. But yeah, overall I like the story. I think that's all I really wrote down. I'm just gonna say hi to Aaron quick. Aaron is in the chat. Thank
Hello,
you for
Aaron.
joining us.
And what's the deal with Chucky? Chucky. We just got
Chucky.
we got a Chucky fan out there.
Wrong movie.
Yep.
All right. Favorite scenes.
It's probably like the ending confrontation with the other mother in that world, like the setup to it and it actually happening, like, because it's so you get that beautiful sequence where everything goes completely white outside the house, which I loved. That I was like, ooh. But when she goes in and there's like the proper like fight where the ground collapses, I just love that, just on a purely visual level. I think that's stunning. So it's probably that. And then again, in that fight scene, Keith David saves it by getting thrown at the other mother. So yeah, it's probably that scene for me.
I like how he like comes over all mad after too, and she's like, I didn't know what else to do. It's like, yeah, just throw me at the bitch.
For me, I really like that scene too. That would probably be also top tier with me. I really like the garden scene in the other world where like the whole garden comes to life. Each flower is like totally different and does their own things, like the dragon lilies or whatever they're called. And then you got these flowers that are shaped like hearts, and you got the dad who's riding like a gardening tool that's shaped like a praying mantis, essentially. I think it's very stunning, and I'm trying to think of the word. It just loses yourself into like the color and how beautiful it is, and when you see the overhead shot, it's great as well. Yeah, I really love that, and I love the introduction of the other parents because it's so vastly different from what you've seen of the parents already, and it's not right because their eyes are buttons, but you can't help but also feel drawn towards them because of how nice they are being.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I also wrote down the first scene with the new parents. They're just so friendly, and they got this big smile on their face, and they're like, welcome, like, come to us, kind of thing. And I would fall for it. And any scene with the big titty ladies, those are my favorite scenes. But I also really like the scene with the ghost children, and they're kind of like almost singing like this little song about like what happened to them, and saying that they just want their souls to be free and stuff. It's just super eerie.
That's a good see.
Yeah. Did you have any least favorite scenes?
No, there was I was gonna say I love this movie just in general, and I think everything that's there like serves a purpose. There was nothing where I was like, oh, I wish this wasn't here. I mean, if I'm going to be super persnickety about it, the bit with YB and the slugs, because I was like, okay, fine, but why is the inexplicable swamp mist? Why is there suddenly? Why is your whole house suddenly surrounded by inexplicable swamp mist? That is literally it that I can think of ever seen that I didn't like, and that's a bit of a reach for me. So yeah, I loved pretty much all of it. So
Okay. Yeah, there's not too much I don't like about this movie, other than Bobinski. I think is the only character that I
You're really hating on him.
I'm just it just doesn't do it for me. That's why. Like I don't really care about his gymnastics and stuff. I didn't really think it was interesting to watch by any means. Like I'd much rather watch. He just doesn't have that much of a character. So I'm like, why is he so prominently in this movie? I guess he's probably got the same equal time as the big titted ladies.
Big titty ladies. At least they're funny.
Yeah, exactly. He just didn't do anything for me. Like he eats radishes and he's just trying to train a mouse circus, which is cool, I guess, but it's just not something that I needed.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I were to cut anything out of this movie, it'd probably be that, but then it wouldn't work out to how you have these 3 gigantic events in the other world, and his was one of the events, so I get it.
Yeah. I don't really have least favorite scenes either. Like, I guess I could really say any scenes that Coraline's being a little brat, but that kind of makes the movie though. So, I mean, I can't really say the movie can't have that. Yeah, I think maybe the first half of the movie, I was a little like, like, come on, what's happening? But yeah, once things got dark, I really liked it, but I guess you got to have that build up. Yeah. I'm just going to say hi to Big Rod because he's always in the chat here. Been here, but doing housework while feeling under the weather. Oh, no, I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah.
That sucks doing housework while you're not feeling well either.
Yeah, I just don't do it.
Yeah. And then I make him do it. All hopped up on Dayquil. Hit that like and sub if you haven't. Great channel. Thank you for always saying that because
we never do.
We always forget. So we always have Big Rod to do it for us. Thank you. And again, to the chat, no one answered my question. I want to know if you would show children this movie because it is, I think, geared towards children, but it does have a super dark story. Okay, the next scene, thinking movies.
Category.
Next category is the killer. I guess that's Evil Mom.
Yep.
So, do you have anything to add about Evil Mom?
Not especially, although because the name that they give her in the film, they call her the Beldam, and I was like, huh. And I googled that, and it does lead back to what Brendan was saying about the Brothers Grimm. It's the Beldam is another word for evil old hag.
Okay.
I like her because it's based on the novella by Neil Gaiman. It's one of the things in this that I like is kind of where it's less scary, I think, than the book is how she has needle hands because she makes dolls and sends them out into the real world. I think that's a nice detail story-wise. In the book, if you haven't read the book or anything, Google the illustrations from the book because they are terrifying, and some of the scenes in the film are like almost copy and pasted almost from the illustrations in the book. But in the book, when her hand comes through, she just has regular hands, so when it gets slammed off in the door, it's like a flesh and blood hand.
Okay.
And there's a picture in the book of the hand like in a claw pose, and the nails are so long, and it's just like a severed stump there, and she's like, oh, that's horrifying. But yeah, but in this, I do like how it's like needles because that's how she like gets you. And I do like how she does have the foot eventually has like the 4 legs, and it's like, oh, okay, she's like a spider creature thing. And I like her design, and I like how the more ticked off she gets, the more less human she is, and which is like in the scene where she has that like really cool dress, and just as she's getting more and more visibly hacked off, she just like grows into the big spindly rage monster. So yeah, as killers go, scary. So.
You have anything?
Yeah, I think she's a good killer. I think she wants somebody to love. She's wants to feed off their life force, essentially. I love the whole spider thing. As much as I think this is a Brothers Grimm like style-esque story, I think that the creature, I know you said like old hag, but I think she reminds me more of this Japanese like urban legend of this like Spider Woman. So like this woman would disguise herself as this thing would disguise herself as a woman, and then like lure young men away from everybody else, and then transform into a spider and like eat their life force. I can't think of what it's called at the moment, but it's a very cool urban myth from Japan. I highly recommend looking into it. The illustrations for them are very cool as well, but that's what it kind of reminded me of. So that's all I could really think about.
Okay.
But I think it's very unique and cool. She's absolutely great to look at. Like she's like, especially near the end when her face is all like super cracked up, and when she moves, almost all the cracks move in different ways and stuff when she's like articulating her expressions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add, except I just really liked her. I thought she was super gothic, and you can, even when she's like tall and lanky and skinny, you can see her ribs, and like she just looks, I don't know, creepy. She's super manipulative, and yeah. Scary rating. This is going to be hard. So scary rating out of 10. 1 being not scary at all, and a 10 being the scariest movie you've ever seen. What would you rate this?
It's gonna be up there. I'm gonna do my annoying thing as well, and I'm sorry if this like gets on your nerves, but by answering a question with an anecdote, because I like to do that. One of my like favorite like real life anecdotes is to do with this film, and we were at college, and for whatever reason we'd finished all the work for that like term, and we had about like 2 hours left. So the teacher was like, okay, I've literally got nothing else to teach you. We can watch a film. I was rushed this morning. I only had time to pick up these 2. And she held up the DVD of Coraline and Silent Hill. And this girl at the back of the class just pointed and went, no, that is not child friendly. We are not watching that. And the teacher went, okay, fine, we'll watch Coraline. And the girl went, no, that's what I'm talking about. That one, no. Put Silent Hill on. It's less scary. So
That's funny.
For me, I'm going to say, even though it's not the most violent thing I've ever seen or the most gruesome, I put it at like probably an 8 for scariness.
Okay. Just for the imagery, I'll probably throw it out about a 2.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there's some really good creepy imagery in here, and unsettling imagery. I wasn't scared at all whatsoever. And I also didn't grow up with this movie, so I don't know if it would have affected me more as a child. I don't even know if I honestly watched it as a kid.
I was gonna say a 1 for me, but if I was watching this as a child, it would probably be like an 8 or 9. Like I think this would have scared the poop out of me as a child.
Yeah.
I think I would have been very frightened. Be dreaming about someone taking my eyeballs. Rewatchability, and would you recommend? I feel like I know your answers, but
well, rewatchability, yes. I think I watch it like at least once a year, maybe twice. Not even necessarily just around like Halloween time, just generally, because I do really like it and recommend. Yes, because that's how this happened. So yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Okay.
I will check this out again. I'm gonna wait for it, like wait a bit to rewatch this one. I'm probably just gonna sit down and watch it with Bruce one night because he had such a good time watching it. I would recommend this movie. I think it's a good like seasonal movie. Like this feels very fall. It's raining a lot. It's got that uncanny claymation looks where all the characters are very Tim Burton-esque looking. So yeah, I think it's a good Halloween movie, and I definitely would recommend watching it.
Okay. I would definitely recommend it too. Rewatchability for me, I think this is one of those movies that I'm just checking on my list, off my list, and moving on. Because if I were to go and watch something festive for Halloween, I'm more likely to put on Hocus Pocus or something like nostalgic for me. But I'm happy I still watched it. I just don't know if it's something I would reach for again.
Okay.
Not for any reason. It's just I don't know.
Not your thing.
Yeah. Like I said, if I'm gonna watch like a claymation or cartoon or something, it's gonna have to be nostalgic for me. So final movie rating as a whole with our emojis. Obviously the poop is a 1 and a 100 is a 5. If you're somewhere in between, you can say a high thumbs up or a low thumbs up. What would you rate this movie?
I mean, I think it's kind of obvious by now, but it's the 100 for me.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna give this a thumbs up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going a high okay.
Oh, okay.
Not because now I feel bad because we talked about how hard it is to do claymation movies, and I'm like, people put in the freaking work. But I mean, people put into work in every movie, so like, I'm going based off of my enjoyment level. I think I liked the spooky, dark aspects of this movie, and I would recommend it to horror lovers and children if I had their parental consent. But for my enjoyment level, it's going to go for a high okay. I think.
I don't think they do claymation like this anymore. No, I think it's all
Someone said it was way too much hard work and we're done.
I think it'd just be able to easier to generate everything in a computer anymore, but
yeah, there's AI.
No, I don't think that's a thing yet, but
they can't do claymation with AI.
I don't know.
Huh.
It's already on camera.
They can barely do Will Smith eating spaghetti with AI, so
I've seen that video.
I haven't.
To be fair, the Will Smith eating spaghetti way scarier than anything in Coraline. To be fair, so yeah,
I've seen. There's some good ones though. There's like in certain scenes they'll replace actors' faces with other actors, so it always looks really good. And then yeah, for some reason the scene with I've seen The Rock eating rocks. Have you seen that one?
I think I have. Yeah.
Oh, it just looks so weird. Are you looking it up?
I'm looking at fun facts
for
okay. Coraline. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm listening.
It's wild. The one with him eating rocks is just wild and just ridiculous.
Okay.
I still want to know what this whole Chucky thing's all about. Aaron, answer us.
I think Aaron has left the chat.
Yeah.
Also, thank you, Ryan, for answering my question. You're the only one that did. I've never seen this movie, so I can't say.
Well, it's a great time to show it to your kids.
Yeah. Okay. The character YB Lovat is not in Neil Gaiman's novel. He exists so Coraline would not have to talk to herself, and so she would have a friend her age. Poor YB.
Okay. I guess why was he born?
Yeah. Over 130 sets were built across 52 different stages at the studios, spanning 183,000 square feet. The 52 different stages were the most ever deployed for a stop-motion animated feature. That is roughly 4.22 acres.
Jesus Christ. That's huge.
Initially, the film would be live action and Dakota Fanning would physically portray Coraline. When it was decided instead to make a stop motion animated film, Fanning was asked if she would still be interested in providing Coraline's voice. She said yes, as she thought it would be fun, and grew even more excited when she saw that Coraline, or what Coraline would look like.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. I wonder how it would look if it was live action.
Probably not that good.
Yeah. The on-screen snow is made from superglue and baking soda.
Oh, interesting.
The band They Might Be Giants wrote 10 songs for the movie, but a change in tone from a musical to a darker production meant that all but 2 were cut.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I think the lyricist. No, that's not right. The singer from They Might Be Giants was the voice of the dad when he sang that song for Coraline when she first meets him.
Okay. There were 24 different puppets of Coraline used in the making of the movie, and each one took 10 individuals and 3 to 4 months to construct. Whew.
Jesus.
Mr. Bobinsky wore the Russian Hero Medal for service at the Chernobyl nuclear disaster on April 26, 1986, which reads on the front, participant in the cleanup campaign. The 4A3C indicates Chernobylskaya nuclear power plant. This medal is unique as it is the only medal in the world awarded for participation in a nuclear cleanup. That might explain his skin complexion and odd behavior. That's quite a backstory.
I think I've heard that theory before. Yeah.
The face on the dollar bill given to the mover for a tip is director Henry Selick. Oh.
Okay.
One crew member was hired specifically to knit miniature sweaters and other clothing for the puppet characters using knitting needles almost as thin as human hair. Whoa. See, I don't have the patience for that kind of skill. Wow. At 1 hour and 40 minutes long, this was the longest stop motion film until Guillermo, I can never say his name, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which runs for 1 hour and 57 minutes.
And it took 6 years to make it.
Wow.
I'm just joking. I don't know that.
Oh.
I'm just saying with
I
how
believed
long.
you. You could have said it confidently.
Yeah.
The leaves in the scene where Coraline is returning to the well were created by spraying popcorn pink and cutting it up into little pieces. The first stop motion animated feature to be shot entirely in 3D.
No, okay. Okay.
The model of the father was based on Ted Raimi.
Oh, that comes across.
That checks out.
Yeah.
The film Coraline was shot over the course of 18 months following 2 years of pre-production.
2 years of pre-production and then 18 months of shooting. I wonder how long the post-production was.
At one point in the movie, Coraline shows 16 different expressions in a span of 35 seconds. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. That's some good stuff, though.
So with post-production probably takes close to a year, too.
Let me do a quick skim and see if there's anything about the...
I bet you this movie took it 4 years to make. You might just have to look it up, like straight up on Google.
Yeah.
I bet you it took 4 years to make.
Yeah, I'm already giving up.
I'll look it up when I go outside for a smoke and we come back for the after hours.
Okay. So yeah, those are the fun facts, and that's Coraline.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much for coming on again.
Yeah, thank you.
Always a pleasure.
And thank you for picking a movie that I might have not picked up.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have picked this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think in a long time.
Do you want to let everyone know one last time where they can find you, and then we'll wrap this up and we'll go record the After Hours show?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I'm on. No,
Twitter,
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Sparkly Goodness. I most of the time just like retweet other horror stuff where I'll see it and go, ooh, retweet. I don't. A lot of the time, I don't post like my own stuff because I just there's not enough hours in the day, and I'm very sleepy most of the time. So, but if you want to say hi, by all means do, and I will say hello back.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter's where we met, and we talk about horror all the time. So, yeah. Okay. We'll go and record the After Hours show. So if you're not on our Patreon, go and sign up.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about, what are we talking about? we're gonna talk about.
We're gonna just talk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're gonna
You
talk
guys are
about
gonna talk about Speak No
Speak
Evil,
No Evil,
spoiler
yeah.
free, because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't really care about spoilers, to be honest.
We'll go
but
spoiler free for anyone.
but
Yeah.
the Patreon members, yeah, they might have not seen it yet. But yeah, thanks to everyone that came in the chat. And even if you haven't seen the movie, we always appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Stay spooky.